All right. Welcome back. I know we're moving. Um, how much of this kind of feels like a fire hose to some of you? Does it?
It's great. It's
It is, and that's the reason why I want to encourage you guys to plug in. In fact, let me make sure. Yeah, I'm recording. I want to encourage you guys to plug into our weekly calls that I do. Okay, every single Thursday, 11 o'clock Central, except today. I'm not going to be doing it. I have an hour of this kind of training every single week. So, when you can make it, make it. If you can't make it, go back and listen to the recording. I like to listen to them while I'm out, like walking or something. This is God's honest truth. I go back and listen to my own training. It's really it's bizarre, but I get a kick out of it. A lot of things that are said are not the me that I think I am that's saying it, right? Because the Holy Spirit will drop a word for whoever's present. And so when I go back, I hear things that I didn't know were going on. It's weird, I know. All right, how many of you guys have the Mentorship Mastery Success Manual Revised 2021 edition? Raise your hand if you have it.
I need the revised one.
You have it now. You got it?
I
Okay.
don't have it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you got an excellent.
I have your 1980s
What I did was I depersonalized it. Remember the last one had me on the front? So now this is one that's that you guys can actually give out to your, to your prospects that are considering mentorship masters. What this is, by the way, is this is the benefits. So whenever I make a promise of something, I like to put it in writing. Okay? So I say, because people always ask me, Knolly, am I really going to get all this stuff? I'm like, dude, it's in writing. It says so right in the brochure. Right? So I put it in writing. This is really the benefits that you have as a mentorship master. And this goes a little bit deeper into what we're going to study today as well. So with that, let me begin by finding my clicker. Here it is. Okay. So every one of you know about what we call spiritual business mastery. Now, spiritual business mastery is the principle upon which, by the way, let's give Artemis another round. That was good stuff, man. That was good. That was good. Yeah. We're going to have Artemis. An announcement real quick before we jump into this. So once our group gets to over 200, we're real close. We're at 183, I think. Right around 183, maybe 184. Once we get over 200 this month, we're going to go to where we have local chapters. Okay, that means we're going to have chapters in strategic cities. Austin will have a chapter. So in any city that we have more than 10 mentorship masters, we're going to have a chapter. Okay, so Austin will be the first chapter, and the chapter president is none other than Artemis Prime. So thank you, Artemis, for stepping up. And what the chapter president does is they rally the troops, help teach, help train, help educate, and help you guys succeed. That's the whole key, help you guys become successful. We want everyone to be a success story. Now, what does it mean? What is success?
It's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
The progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Earl Nightingale,
Yeah. What I say is success is just, having what you want, having what you desire. You desired that, you got it, that's success. Okay? So it's definable by anyone can have their own definition of what success. It might look very different to you than it does to me. Okay, I like Earl Nightingale's actually better, but mine's easier to remember. So 8 pillars. This is spiritual business mastery. What I learned in being an entrepreneur for over 30 years is that there are 8 pillars that you have to have these 8 pillars in your business to have a rockin' business. So we're going to dissect them real quick. So spiritual business mastery is based on more than 30 years of business and success research conducted by myself. Okay, so I am a lifelong learner. For many, many years, I read about a book a week. Okay, when I was in 5th grade, I was reading on a sophomore college level in 5th grade. It doesn't say much about the other studies, the other subjects, but I've always loved to read. And when we're in alignment with our divine destiny and we are achieving optimal success in all 8 pillars of business and in the 4 bodies. How many of y'all know we have 4 bodies? Raise your hand. Everybody knows this, right? All the masters know this. Success is inevitable. Okay? And by the way, I have a lot of this information here just so you guys can get for the handout later. I hear something echoing. Is that Chris's phone? You might want to turn that off. That's distracting. Therefore, making the goal of one's life to master these areas through the living of one's divine destiny should be your chief aim. I'm a student of divine destiny. I heard someone earlier, shame, tell me that they don't know what their profile is. Okay? There's probably not a class that I teach where I don't talk about your profile, personality, who you are. Why is that? Because if you don't know who you are, you can't be who you is. Okay? That's real talk. If you don't know who you are, you can't be who you is. Now, my purpose is to inspire you to become all that God created you to be so that you can live the life you were meant to live. That's my purpose. Okay? Now, if you don't know how God designed you, then you won't know what it is or how it is that you are to function in this life. And this is why we've given you specific you're just going to be like a drift, like a piece of wood thrown or a leaf in a stream, just going hither and yonder. Okay? You want to be in other words, you live a life by design, by destiny, okay? Not a life by default. How many of y'all want to live a life by default? Nobody. So not knowing who you are. By the way, I took the personality profile when I was 19 years old. This couple came to our church and they were talking about discover who you are, right? So I took the test. I took it again when I was 40. And turns out I'm the same old guy I was back then, same, right? And I told my wife, I said, you ain't changed me a bit. I'm still the same man I was, huh? Because I got married when I was 21. She thought she was changing me. But the reality is she has helped me become the best version of myself, right? But the thing is, if you know who you are, and I've learned who I was from an early age, you continue to be, and the thing is, when you lead generate, you want to lead generate to your personality profile. Now, an easy way to know is when you go through like these 27 things, you rate them from 1 to 5. And this is the Amazon system. 1 means you hate it, 5 means you love it, okay? By the way, 4 means you really like it. 3 means you like it. 2 means you didn't like it. 1 means you hated it, right? So you rate it from 1 to 5 and you only do 4s and 5s. I actually rate my life that way. Every single thing that I do in life, I rate it from 1 to 5. If it's not a 4 or 5, it's not on my list. Because there are people that love to do stuff like that. That's the reason why the affluent, they don't drive, they don't do certain things that they don't love to do. Now, there's a point when you're 18, 19, 20, you love driving, right? But there's a point in life, I don't know when it comes, but you don't really like driving that much anymore, right? So the affluent, the ones that can afford it, they have drivers, right? And so there's a principle behind that. So we're going to go through these very quickly. It's going to be another fire hose. How many of y'all already feel like you've been having some fire hoses today, right? So the reason I'm going to go through this quickly is because this is in every single training that we do, Artemis and I, and any other teachers at Version, like Lucas, is going to be a future trainer. This is the backbone of what we believe. Okay, so number 1 is mindset, and there's 3 components to this. And by the way, all this stuff is in the Mentorship Master's Success Manual. Okay, so if you want to actually turn, let's just do that. I think that would be easy. So let's turn to page 32. Let's study this together. Page 32. Okay, class. It starts on page 30, and then it goes to page 32. So let's talk about this. Mindset. Mindset is the first and most important pillar. It has been well noted that success is in any endeavor is 90% mental. If you believe it, you can achieve it. It is important to understand how the mind works, the functionality of the subconscious and conscious mind, the ego, and so forth. When one can master the mind and then use it to one's advantage, true and lasting progress is inevitable. So this is the reason why we put mindset first. This is the reason why we spend so much time working on the mind. You got to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Who said that?
Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn, right? So mindset is so critical. And if we can shift the mind, by the way, last class, Mentorship Masters class, we did an exercise where we found out how much your mind is costing you. Did you know that your mindset is costing you money? How many of y'all know that? Okay, so we did an exercise where we wrote down how much you currently are bringing in income per month, what is your goal per month. And the difference between the two is all mindset. Okay, so if you're like Ping Jun, which is a guy that we follow, he makes $1 million a month. Let me say it again. He makes $1 million a month. Okay, now there are many people in this world that make $1 million a month. Many. Not just a few, many, 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 okay? And we can just rattle them off one name after another, especially in the social media space and online marketers. So now, let's say you're making $100,000 a month. When I was 29, I was making $150,000 a month. When I was 29 years old, I'm 51 now. So I'm no stranger to earning high income. Of course, my business was making that. I was spending about $170 a month. It's not, in the entertainment business, not hard to spend a lot of money. So, but I had a $150,000 a month mindset, okay? I don't have $1 million a month mindset because I don't make $1 million a month. Now, some people make $10,000 a month. That's their mindset. Some people make $1,000 a month. Some people make less. Make sense? Now, let's look at number 2, activities, okay? After mindset, activities is the thing that follows. And activities, it says, another key pillar of success is right action. One must be doing the things that lead to success. This means learning how to prioritize and focus on the important things in business to the exclusion of all others, okay? If need be. Knowing what is important, very important, versus what is merely urgent is critical. See, most real estate agents focus on the urgent, not on the important, okay? They focus on what's urgent, but not important. Very critical. The Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, states that 80% of the results that you have will come from doing 20%. The 20% of activities, okay? So activities, when we just talk about mindset, how many of you hear people just say, oh, you just believe it, it'll come to you. But we got to take action, don't we? Right? We got to take right action. So the third one is people. Nobody succeeds alone, okay? The Creator fashioned each individual with a unique talent set as well as a unique list of deficiencies. Thus, as human beings, we need one another. Now, I generally don't like reading from the front of the room, but this stuff is good, okay? So, and it's concise, because if you get me talking, it's going to be an hour. We got about 10 minutes or 15 more minutes to cover this. Then we're going to hear from Seamus, the owner of this room. Thank you, Seamus, for letting us be here, by the way. So your job, therefore, is to understand where you are weak and partner with others who are strong in those areas. That's your job. Just understand where you are weak and partner with others who are strong in those areas. In other words, focus on your strong points and hire or barter for your weak ones. Okay? I had an agent tell me one time, I'm going to hire somebody just like me. What? And I'm her coach. I'm like, no, we ain't doing that. Now we got 2 people not getting anything done. And I had another agent tell me, well, I'm just going to become a little bit better at that. I'm saying, you suck. It's not even in your cards, your personality profiles. You're just going to be a little bit better version of no good. You suck, right? So it's just like I suck at social media. I get into Facebook. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be in Facebook, Instagram. Boy, I'm going to be doing it. I suck at it. The only reason I'm consistent at it is because I have somebody that their job is on the line if they don't get it done. So they do it for me every single day.
You're good with YouTube.
I'm good with YouTube, yeah, but I got a guy that does that too. So systems, number 4. Many businesses fail, or at least fail to reach their ultimate potential because they do not have the right systems in place. In order for your business to become scalable, able to grow in size and with minimal additional effort, you have to have the right systems in place. A systematized business is a well-oiled machine that can easily run, listen, with or without you. If you can't be away from your business for a month, you don't have a system in place. You know, and it still generate the income that you desire. You don't have the right system in place, okay? Very, very important to have systems. By the way, did you know that 80% of small businesses fail, according to USA Today? Like you start a small business, taco restaurant. 80% of those fail. Now, what percentage of franchises fail? Like a Chick-fil-A, or according to, I think it was Entrepreneur Magazine. Franchise, you pick a franchise like a Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, or something like that. What percentage of those fail?
Probably less than 5%.
Very small, okay? More than 80% of them succeed. So more than 80% of independent businesses fail, whereas less than 80% of franchises fail. Why is that? Because they have these 8 pillars. When you look at the 8 pillars, mindset, they have the right mindset, the right activities, they have the right people, and they have the right systems, right? A Chick-fil-A is going to have a system, okay? And then they have tools. Think about this. Having the right tools in place will allow your business to run smoother and more efficiently. The right tools also allow you to do much more with less effort, okay? It's like a fulcrum. It's like a lever, okay? My wife and I this week, we're doing some gardening, okay? I'm picking up a new hobby, you know, what's up? My wife loves to garden, and my job was to dig holes so we could put these little bulbs in, right? But guess what? We didn't have the right tool for the job, and it made it 10 times harder to dig through the kind of, you know, black clay we have in our backyard. So Josie ran out yesterday to Home Depot. She got a couple of real nice tools, and boy, we got it done, huh? The right tools makes the job. Tools should never be looked at as an expense, but rather an investment into the sure success of your operation. Now, the next thing is money. Having the right money mindset and beliefs around money will make your success journey even more enjoyable, okay? Many entrepreneurs and business owners live a roller coaster of feast or famine. When you begin having the right relationship around money, listen to that, the right relationship around money, the game actually becomes fun, as you will begin to experience abundance all the time with a complete absence of lack, want, or need. How would you like to have abundance all the time with a complete absence of lack, want, or need? Wouldn't that's what you want, right? Okay? This is the lifestyle that I live, okay? I have no needs, no wants. I don't have a mortgage. My house is paid off. I have no debt, okay? Now, this is not something I'm saying to brag. This is something I'm saying when I was 45 years old, I paid off my house. That was 6 years ago. I've not had a mortgage since, okay? And what am I doing now? I'm teaching my masters how to do everything that I've done, okay? Because it's a fun life. When you get to leave home for a month and not worry about, now, on the other side of that, I've lost a home to foreclosure. Anybody ever done that? I have. I had the bank take my house. I've lost a home to short sale. I mean, I short sold a home, okay? I've filed bankruptcy. So I've gone to the deepest low. I know, hey, I tried broke. I didn't like it. Rich is better, I guarantee you. Accountability. This is another thing that franchises have, accountability, okay? They have extreme accountability. What happens to a Chick-fil-A if they're not meeting their numbers?
The boss shows up.
First, they're going to get a phone call. Hey, what's going on? The sales are down. Anything wrong? Let's get on a call here. They get on a call. Now, what happens the next week if the numbers aren't met? Somebody's getting on a plane. Now, what happens a couple months in a row where numbers aren't met? You're out. We're going to take over your franchise and get somebody in here to turn this puppy around, okay? Or we're going to hire somebody to turn it around at your expense. We're not going to fail, okay? So the thing is, most of us as business owners don't have that in our business. And there's a course I teach about how to run your business like a franchise. Not talking about a real estate franchise, but like franchises think, and this is kind of the core of it. So accountability simply means the ability to give an account. That's all it means. So don't get scared of the word, oh, I got to be accountable. I mean, I left home when I was 16 years old. Why? Because I didn't want to be accountable to nobody. I didn't want anybody telling me what to do, right? So I understand. But here's the reason why successful athletes, celebrities, top CEOs, and all successful people in general have mentors and coaches is because without accountability, they would never have achieved the heights of success that they have attained. It would be, you cannot be accountable to yourself. Self-accountability doesn't work, okay? The annals of recorded history have proven without a doubt that human beings need to have accountability in order to reach their ultimate potential. By the way, did you know that the Homo sapiens is the only race okay, that does not live up to its full potential? Every other mammal, bird, insect, they live to their full potentiality of what they came in this world to do. Homo sapiens, why? Because we have free choice. That means we get to choose the lesser, which most people do. That's why accountability is so important, and that's why we make sure that you have an accountability partner in Mentorship Masters, those of you that are taking advantage of it. And I give you a complete accountability system and teach you how to hold each other accountable, because without accountability, you won't reach your ultimate greatness, period. Okay? Now, let's look at the 8th pillar, and that's training. The most successful business owners and entrepreneurs are lifelong learners. Remember that readers are leaders, or I should say leaders are readers, okay? In order to have maximum output, you have to have the best input. Top experts never seek to rest on their laurels, but instead are dutiful in learning new skills, tips, tricks, techniques, and strategies for success. Remember, there is always more to learn. So at Mentorship Masters, and I go into the fact that we endeavor to do that. And by the way you learn, I learned this from Artemis, you learn from seminars, live events, books, audios, podcasts. There's a lot of different ways to learn. But make sure that you're getting good input every single day. Scripture says that we should watch what we look at. So Josie's real good about this. I used to like to watch dark stuff, like forensic files. How did he kill that person? Like what, it just intrigued me. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying for you to stop watching that if that's what you like. I'm just saying for me, it turned out to be not so good, And the cleaner I became, the more I started eating holistic foods and learning from what Artemis taught and getting more pure at heart, I started not liking that kind of stuff, the dark side. It can be intriguing though, boy, that forensic files now, But I just, even though I still like it, I just don't watch it. Right? Does that make sense to everybody? Now, the 4 bodies, let's cover this real quick. Every one of you has 4 bodies. You have a spiritual body, first and foremost. Let me fast forward. So we already gone through all this. What I want to do is I want to kind of get it up here because I want to show you guys this. And then we'll get you up here, Seamus. By the way, when you talk about money, who taught you what you currently know about money?
Usually mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Environment.
Culture. I tell you, my dad taught me what I knew about money, but God bless his soul, the man never had any. You see what I'm saying? So he really didn't. Most of us have learned from folks that have a lot less than we desire. Does that make sense? People that have never had what you desire to have. Okay. And by the way, this is the 8 keys and what it answers. Success is 90% mental. Time block for success. Who will do it? That's what people answers. Systems answers, how will they do it? And tools, what will they do it with? Okay? Money, be debt-free with recurring income. That's how you have success in this life and play it to the fullest. Accountability is to get a mentor. Training, keep learning. Okay? Now let's look at I want to look at the 4 bodies real quick, and then we're going to hear from Seamus, and then we're going to go into a Q&A. So everyone has a spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional body. I learned this from Artemis, okay? Your 4 bodies, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Now, did you know that the Homo sapiens has at least 3 brains that have been identified by scientists, okay? So we have a brain that Artemis talked about earlier, the neocortex and the reptilian brain and all that, the brain that's right here in the head. Then we have a brain in our heart. So Dr. Childers, in his heart math method, okay, he did over 50 years of research and discovered that the heart, there is a sort of a field that radiates from the heart about 8 feet, okay? And some people have a larger field, and they've taken certain instruments and they can measure this, okay? It's a real thing, just like a radio wave or whatever. So all of us have sort of this. That's why when you get in somebody's space, if I get a little too close, now it's because of COVID, but before, if I got a little too close to you, it just felt uncomfortable, like you're in my space. I start to feel you, not just see you. See what I'm saying? So, and then we have a brain in our gut, scientific, okay? So 90% of the serotonin is created in the gut, okay? Goes up to the brain. It's all connected, okay? We are holistic beings, all right? So, and the brain of the gut is about the emotional intelligence of a canine, is what they've when they've measured it. And canines are pretty smart, aren't they? Right? Now, men have 4 brains, but we're not going to go into the 4th one. So physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Every one of you have 4 bodies, okay? Now, let's look at this. Spiritual body, first and foremost, you have a spirit body. It is an extension or a piece of God and is eternal. You advance in the spiritual plane through prayer, meditation, and study. That's your spirit body. Now, you also have a mental body. Your mental body must be well understood and well cared for. There are people that have mental illness. I have some in my family, okay? I'm not making a joke. I'm serious. You know, I've got some mental illness that runs in my family. My wife's mom, she lives with us for how long did she live with us? 23 years? 23. And she was bipolar, you know, mental illness, you know, dealing with it. So we got to take care of our mind, guys. Once properly understood and mastered, new paradigms are possible and minimal effort is required. So this is the whole key. When you get in the flow, it's not about how hard you work. This is what I was taught. Boy, you got to work hard. In fact, my dad did tell me something very smart. He said, you know, if you ever look at it, he said, the people that make the most money work the least. Okay? Does the guy that owns 13 McDonald's restaurants, does he work as hard as the guy flipping the burgers and putting the fries down? Of course not. Okay? So, but he makes more money than all of them, right? Now, physical body. Your physical body is the garage where you temporarily park your soul. Now, to me, I didn't care. My physical body, who cares, right? But I didn't realize, as Artemis taught me, that the physical body is the vehicle for which God uses to manifest the, you know, whatever it is that you're here to do, right? So you got to have that in shape. And I really didn't care. I was like, whatever. Cheeseburgers tonight, tacos tomorrow. Who cares? Well, you know, it's just a body anyway. Now, the body must be well nourished and tended so that it will be well poised to assist you. Did you know that the Homo sapiens body has how many trillion cells? 100 trillion cells. 100 trillion cells. That's what we're made of, cells. Now, did you know that every single one of those cells eats and poops? Did you know that? This is God's honest truth. What you give it, it takes it in and it excretes it out. That's what cells do. Okay? And by the way, when you start to study the cell, we're going to study this at Mentorship Masters. When you start to study the cell of a human being, it's like a city. One cell is like a city. Okay? So your body is a universe. That's how God designed it. It's a universe. When you start digging into this, it's deep. Okay, so when you give your body, a cheeseburger, which I ate them for years, and I'm not hating on it, but when you give your body that's what your cells get to live on. The cells eat that as food, just like baby chicks. See, they rely on you, mama and papa. You like a baby chick, you come in and give it. Now if a bird came and the mama, they know what to feed their chicks, and they feed them right. See, but humans, not so much. So the physical body is very important. Emotional body, every one of us have one. Now, I neglected my emotional body for many, many years, and I couldn't feel. Why? Because I cut that off because I was abused as a child. So I didn't want to feel, right? I had to reconnect with my emotional body. A lot of men do this. Emotional blocks of all kinds prevent many from becoming or achieving more. Okay? Everybody in this room has emotional blocks, I guarantee you. Okay, I believe this is what Scripture calls spirits. Okay, it's energy. Everything's energy, guys. Everything. That's the way God made it. Now, having a well-balanced emotional body is paramount to success. Okay, so we're going to go into the Ask Knolly portion. Does all that make sense? Yeah. Super easy to understand. It's well-rounded. So the body of knowledge for Mentorship Masters is the 8 pillars and the 4 bodies. When we study, when we meet every week, that's what we're studying. Why? Because I don't want you guys just to become wealthier. I want you to have success in every area of life. How many of you guys know that there's 14 areas of life? We're not going to learn that today, by the way. There's 14 areas of life. And I want you to have success in every single area. This is the pathway to do it. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, guys. What we're going to hear from next is Seamus. Seamus Donahue. And then, am I saying that right? Seamus Donahue? Come on up here, Seamus. Come on up here. So Seamus with Supreme Lending.
Good to see you, brother.
My man, good to see you,
How
brother.
are you?
They did my very first loan back in 1996. They believed in a 26-year-old guy. Gave me $400,000. Can you believe that? 26-year-old kid. They gave $400,000 to buy our first house. Okay, and it was John's first deal or second.
John McClellan's first deal.
It was his. I was his first client.
Yeah.
So I helped start Supreme Lending. What's up, baby?
How you
Come
doing?
on now.